Hello YouTube. This is going to be kind of a tutorial and a question and answer for you guys, showing you how I use Dxtory to capture my video games that I'm playing that I put up on my YouTube channel. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Dxtory program. For me, I'm going to be doing Minecraft for this. I don't use the default settings. I use the Lagarth lossless codec with 15 keyframes, 100 quality, and I capture it with percentage 100%, so it captures the entire window. You want to have it capture at 30 frames per second. File output AVI. I have it set up to output to my D drive, the Dxtory folder. Sometimes you can also, if you have problems, you can do what they call raw cap, which will allow you to record onto multiple hard drives. Like I have both a D and an L drive set up to get output. And if I'm capturing like 60 frames per second, I also use my C drive, which is a solid state drive. You can see how much faster per second data rate the solid state drive has versus this Maxtor drive or this Western Digital Caviar Black drive I have. So, and also over here under the audio settings, first thing we want to record sound from my speakers, and then you also want to record the second set of audio from my microphone, which I'm using the Blue Yeti microphone. I am recording the microphone at 22 Hz 16-bit mono, and I'm recording the game at 44.1 16-bit stereo. So then let's go ahead and open up Minecraft. I have it set up to use 4 gigs of memory on mine, so I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I'm going to go ahead and make it full screen for this. For right now, for this test, just so it doesn't take a while to load. Actually, I'm going to switch the texture pack back to the default texture pack for this. As you can see up in the corner there is the Dxtory frames per second. So for this test, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to pretend like I'm recording something. So let's go ahead and do single player, and let's call this, loud truck driving by. I'm just going to call this world video. So let's go ahead and create a new world. Let's build the terrain. And there we go, I'm in the game. Let's go and check my settings. I usually have my music off. I have my sound at 30%, because this is something you want to be important, is make sure your game volume is not up full blast, because sometimes the game noises will get a lot louder than your own voice. Under my video settings, or at least for this game, I am able to run fancy. I'm at 50% brightness, particles off. You can do full screen. I don't do full screen. I usually turn off vertical sync and set my performance to balance, because as you can see right now, my frame rate, I'm getting 70, 80 frames per second. So let's pretend I want to go ahead and start recording this. I have my key mapping bind to F9, so I'm going to go ahead and hit F9. Oh, sorry, no, that was F8. I'm going to hit F9. Okay, so now I'm recording. You can see there that actually the game is running at around 60 frames a second, but it is locked the recording to 30 frames a second. That is something that Fraps cannot do. So that's that I can play this game at whatever frame rate I want, and it records the file to a different thing. So if you wanted to, you could play in 1080p, but have it output at 720p or something. So here, let's pretend this is a level. I'm running around. I'm going to go ahead and do something. Let's go ahead and jump on up here. Let's go ahead and pretend like I'm breaking some logs and get this stuff done. And just to show you here, okay, I'm going this stuff. Okay, let's pretend that I've been recording for a while. I'm going to be like, okay, well, I got some of this wood. I will see you guys back in a bit once I get a crafting table and some tools done. So then I go over here and hit the stop recording button. So then I can go ahead and, let's say, get that stuff done. There's things you have to do behind the scenes, like getting a crafting table, and pretend like, okay, there's my sticks, and I made 2 sticks, but let's pretend, okay, I've done that properly, and I've got all of my stuff done. So then I can go ahead and hit the pull my keyboard out so I can see it. I hit the record button again. Okay, then I'd be like, okay guys, welcome back. I've got my sticks here, so let's go ahead and do this stuff and blah 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 blah. And you know, oh, I want to get something here. Okay, yeah. You know, oh look, I found a cave. And you know, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And okay, I've got myself into a cave, and I'll go ahead and explore this, you know, next episode. Goodbye. You know, okay, let's pretend that's what you would do. There's your episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and quit the game. Now that I've gotten that recorded, I'm gonna go ahead and go into my D drive, my Dxtory Pro folder, and then there's my 2 episodes I just recorded. For this, I'm going to go ahead and create a folder and call this and put my 2 videos in there. Now, like I said, remember how I said that the thing records, it has 2, you know, how you have 2 audio tracks? Because here, if I try to play this video back, you will notice where's my talking? There would be game noises. If I go ahead and fast forward, there is game noises, but I'm not talking. Why? Because actually it seeps it as 2 separate audio tracks. So if I switch it to this other audio track and play it, this stuff done, and you can hear there's me talking. So how would I do with these? Because if I edit this, you know, normally it's only going to play the gameplay audio. Well, here's one thing cool. You select these and you right click, extract audio stream. You hit that, and now it extracts the 2 WAV files out of those video files for both the gameplay and your voice. Now then, what I do with these, well, I know you can use whatever video editing software you use. I personally use Adobe After Effects because I know it's more meant for visual effects, but I've mastered using this program, so I'm really fluent in it. But I'm just going to go ahead and import those videos into a project. Here they all are. Import all of those. Ignore that stuff. I don't know why it's popping up this stuff here. So here you can see it's grouped. The program is going to automatically group it. So I have the video and the 2 audios, and then the video and 2 audios. So I'll select these 3. And I'm going to drag it into my new composition. I don't want to have it sequence it, so I want to have it that it has them all together. Let's go ahead and unmute to this one. So I just mute that one. So I just have the video and the 2 audio files. I'll grab the second one, drop that into another composition. Same thing, mute the game audio. For some reason, because I dropped in the WAV file, it screwed up my resolution. So let's go ahead and switch this back to full. Ouch. Let's go ahead and delete that composition and redo that bottom one, because that's not good when it does that. Use the video's dimensions. Perfect. So I got those 2 things. Now that I have those 2, I have my 2 compositions. So I'll go ahead and make these sequence those layers. So now it will have the first part, and then the commercial break, and then there's the second part of the video merged together. So that's how I got now that's how I edit my 2 videos together here. I'm going to go ahead and tell After Effects to make a movie from that. Let's go ahead and call that. I'll create a folder called Edit, and I'll call this YouTube Test. And I'm going to change it to, you know, I already have a lossless preset, but normally you would go up here to, I think you just go in here and choose format AVI, choose video output format, and choose that lossless codec. You can see I don't have audio selected, so actually I have to take this thing here and duplicate it again and tell it to output as WAV as well, which you can go under here and choose WAV from that preset. Same thing. So I got both the video and audio that I'm going to go ahead and I'll let this render out real quick, and then I will show you guys what I do with this video after it is all rendered out. It shouldn't take that too long because like I said, we're recording in the levelized lossless codec, and now I'm just merging it together into the same thing. So far all the video is completely lossless, so I have not lost any quality in these conversions at all. So like I said, I'll let this process through, and like I said, it won't take that long. I'm going to go ahead, and while this is encoding, I'm going to go ahead and minimize it. The next program I will be using with these things to re-encode it, because the video files, as you've probably noticed, for this, the uncompressed video, this one was 2.1 gigabytes, and this one was 629 megabytes for 32 seconds of video, and this one was 57 seconds of video, so not even a minute. So, if you take like an actual video, which I don't have any right now because I've already got it, here's my new Feed the Beast episode. I've already got this encoded with what I'm going to do with it, which you'll see in a bit. But you can see I've gotten that 21-minute video down to 1.2 gigabytes. So, the video files are kind of big because of the way I encode them, but that's why they look so good. So, like I said, this is almost done. I'm going to go ahead and lean back and take a drink of pop while this goes through, and I will be right back once this is done. There you go. As you heard by that chime, it is done. So I'm going to go ahead and close After Effects. Right now, I'm not going to save the project, but normally I would have already saved my project before I would even start that render. So now, what's going to go ahead? I'm going to use the program MeGUI to encode this video. So now let's open up MeGUI. Let's go to Tools, AVS Script Creator, browse for our video, which is in my data, Dxtory, Java, edit, and that AVI file. It's going to pop this up. I'm going to tell it to use the AVI source. It'll bring up a little preview of it. That's fine. Save. And it brings up the preview again. Go ahead and close that. Go down here to the audio input. Hit browse for that. Choose that WAV file from that. For the encoder settings, I am using X264. I have saved this as my 1080p 8000 kilobits per second, which you can pretty much just choose target file size 8000 kilobits per second. There's my settings I've used for that. And for the encoder settings, pretty much I chose the AAC LC I think 96, and I just mostly modified it so it's 192 constant bitrate. So now that I do that, after you choose all those, you choose auto encode, and it'll pop up this, choose no target size, use profile settings, and then you can click on this and you can name it however you want. So I'm going to call this, YouTube text test. And that's where I want to save it. So queue that up. And now I can go to the queue and I can go ahead and tell it to start encoding that. See, there's the audio encode, super fast. Now it's going to be doing the first pass of the X264 compression, which will take about a minute for this because I have an i7. It might take a little bit longer on your PC, but let's actually go back into that edit folder. How big was that raw AVI? 2.7 gigabytes for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the WAV file was 15 megabytes. So let's see how small this video ends up being after this thing gets done encoding this. So you guys can watch this. Pass this through. This doesn't take that long. I usually will let this encode. I'll usually throw it over to my second monitor and watch like some YouTube videos while I wait for this to process. You can see if I go ahead and open up just my own program, my Realtemp GT, you can see my 3770K is running at, I switched it back to the stock 3.7 gigahertz. You can see if I check the start performance tab, you can see my CPU performance. You can see that it is using a good amount of CPU. This may actually be a little bit slower than it normally is because I'm also screen recording what's going on while I'm doing this, but you can see this program does use quite a bit of CPU. You can kind of see right here that it is kind of guesstimating how big the file is going to be, and it's already done with the first pass and now it's on the second pass. You can see the processing rate, how fast it's actually encoding this. So it's encoding this at roughly, it's processing the video at about 23 frames per second. If I was dealing with already compressed footage, that would be a lot slower. I know if I'm processing 720p, that sometimes it processes the video at like almost like 60 frames per second, so it chews through the video in like half the time of the video. So let's say I was processing a 40-minute 720p video, it might encode it in like 20 minutes. So it's pretty good, I think. Ouch. And there you go. You can see it's already done encoding it. I've got my MP4. Let's go and check data, Dxtory, and there it is, YouTube test. Okay, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 87 megabytes. Let's go and try to play that. And I want to mute my microphone so you can see exactly how it would play back. 9. Okay, so now I'm recording. You can see there that actually the game is running at around 60 frames a second, but it is locked the recording to 30 frames a second. That is something that Fraps cannot do. So right now, that I can play this game at whatever frame rate I want, and it records the file to a different thing. So if you wanted to, you could play in 1080p, but have it output at 720p or something. So here, let's pretend this is a level. I'm running around. I'm going to go ahead and, do something. Let's go ahead and jump on up here. Let's go ahead and, pretend like I'm breaking some logs and get this stuff done. And just to show you here, okay, I'm going this stuff. Okay, let's pretend that I've been recording for a while. I'm going to be like, okay, well, I got some of this wood. I will see you guys back in a bit once I get a crafting table and some tools done. So then I go over here and hit this so I can see it. I hit the record button again. Okay, then I'd be like, okay guys, welcome back. I've got my sticks here, so let's go ahead and do this stuff and blah 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 blah. And oh, I want to get something here. Okay, yeah. Oh look, I found a cave. And blah blah blah, stuff like that. And okay, I've got myself into a cave, and I'll go ahead and explore this next episode. Goodbye. You can see there it is. I would be able to take that, upload that video to YouTube, and that's how easy it is. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you would like to see more of my videos. Yep, and thank you. Have a nice